So, my friend,
So,
2 years ago, you were cleaning bloods off the floor,
yes, sir.
and now we are here.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit of what your day looked like before going full time.
Well, before I went full time, it was just waking up early the whole day, try to work on my trading, and then at 3, leave my house, clean blood for 5, 6 hours, come back home, shower, eat a little, and go to bed, and just keep repeating that process over and over and over again.
And
So it
how are you
was,
able to fit your trading there?
I mean, when I've looked back at it, I don't even really know. It was just one of those things where I decided, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I quit university, and I need to spend the hours in the day that I have before I go to my job to work on my trading. And then because I had a pretty good schedule where, okay, I started to work at 3, so majority of the training time in Europe is already over. So sometimes I had to manage a position, but it was pretty perfect because in those hours I could just focus on work, not that much on trading, and then get home and just, yeah, just basically do nothing because I was always just in the weekends, especially because all day long you would just wake up at 9 and until 10 you're just basically working on something. So yeah, it was just,
And during all that time, you quit university to actually focus on trading. You were cleaning bloods to make money to be able to actually sustain yourself and your trading.
yeah.
That probably was a lot of pressure. Like, where was your head at when you came home from work?
When I got, well, basically my head was always at, I need to sleep. Like it was really like there is no room for anything else. Like I need to just go to bed. Like it was just always like tiring. That's how I felt. Like my head was always like, oh, I just need to get enough sleep, get it. Like it was all about always getting enough rest so I can put the hours into trading because I knew, okay, I've quit this university thing. I can go back in 1, 2 years if I want to, but I need to make these days count. So even in the weekends, I would always be like, oh, I don't want to really want to go anywhere because I would just be too tired to think about anything else. So it was always just every day thinking about trading, talking about trading, doing trading related stuff. And then sometimes, of course, like in those days where you're actually exhausted, like the whole day long, you're just walking around in your apartment. You can't even really focus on trading. And those, I would say, is the worst.
Yeah.
When you can't make trading work, now you have to go to your job. Maybe if you lost even some money, and that cycles just over and over again because you're not profitable yet.
Yeah.
So every day is kind of just sucky, and you're like, yeah, I'm still making progress.
Yeah, but I do want to touch on the fact that you mentioned that it was incredibly, incredibly stressful. And instead of going into what we've watched so far, it's like there were times where it wasn't smooth sailing at all.
No.
And there's a story that you talk about a lot, which is the sofa story. Well, you don't talk about it a lot. I always like to come back to it and even take you back to it to
Yeah.
see how far you've come. Like, tell us a little bit more about that sofa story.
Yeah. So the sofa story was basically, I guess every trader goes through it, and you can even say it's the valley of disappointment, whatever. But it was just, there was this point where I've now worked in cleaning 1, 2 years, I think already. Trading was still not going my way. I finally got a funded account, of course, blew it, and I was just sitting on that sofa. Like I think every trader goes through it, and it's like that very strong moment of doubt where you're like, I feel like I've tried everything. I feel like I've put the work in, but how am I going to make this work? Like that's literally how it felt. So I was sitting on the sofa, just quite depressed, and even talking to my girlfriend, like I just don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then, kind of in some similar way, I felt so low and so down that at that point, like my girlfriend says, like, yeah, you can also go back to school, or like we were just talking things over. I had this moment of realization, like, have I actually put the work in? Right? I think at that point, yes, I would, like I say, like, oh, I work every day on trading, but a lot of days, like, you spend working on trading, but also your mind's all over the place. Maybe you open a YouTube video, maybe you do this. So you have to also be honest to yourself, like, am I actually putting in hours, or am I just putting in quantity? Like, is it just a bunch of hours that are not like productive at all? So, and then I kind of realized in a moment, like, well, I have given it my all, but I know there's a lot of things that I'm not doing. And then I just kind of realized, because you also always mentioned it, like you have to have the goals, you have to focus on this and that. And I was like, you know what? I'm now at my lowest. Like it can't get worse. Like from here, it can literally can't get worse. And I was like, I have until the end of the year to prove to myself that I can make this work. And not in a way where it was like, oh, I can make it work because I have this X amount of money. Like always people I always hear like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna make it work because I want to get this amount of funding. And I was there and I was like, I just want to show myself that I'm improving and that I'm doing what I set out that I'm going to do. If I didn't even need funding at that moment. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, I just need to focus on the daily steps. If I can do that for X amount of months, I can continue. So I kind of put this into my head because I learned that actually at university it was like a stoplight. Like you have a green light, you have an orange light, you have a red light. And a red light would literally mean I'm gonna quit training forever. An orange light would be like the moment I had there, like I'm putting in the work, but there's so much more to be done. And the green light would be like, yes, you're on a good road, you're putting in the things you actually should be doing. So every 3 months, I would put in those stoplights. I would be like, okay, am I orange, am I green, or am I red? And I knew I couldn't get to red.
Yeah.
And after that, I just kept, okay, green light, green light, green light. And yeah, 3 months later, all of a sudden, boom, I got a payout.
Yeah. I love how that story works because we're going to get into it a little bit further down the line. Because you gave yourself 6 months until the end of the year. It was about 6 months, right? Or was
Yeah,
it
I
in
think
March?
6.
It was either in March or April or 6
Yeah,
months.
yeah, something like that.
And that story, like it connects together very, very
Yeah.
well, very, very soon. But this is where then Fund the Trading Blueprint came into play.
Yeah,
Where
it was literally,
yeah,
I think not long after.
yeah, 1 month. You said 1 month after I said that I was going to launch Fund the Trading Blueprint, and you were like, "Well, I guess this is a sign,"
Yeah.
and you joined.
Yes.
Yeah, and then what do you think was the main thing that got you that guidance to always be like, okay, yeah, green light, green light, green light? Did you actually even hesitate before joining?
Not at all.
Why?
Well, you know why, but I will I will tell it once more. Because the thing is, I was already following you for such a long time. Like every kind of decision I made up until then, it was kind of because of your YouTube channel. You joined Photon, I joined Photon, and then you started doing other stuff. But the thing was that because it's so hard to find people who are actually like are gonna make trading work. Like it's very hard from a YouTube channel face value to know, okay, that guy's legit or not legit. But because I have followed your story, I literally saw you going from unprofitable in your bedroom in the UK to a profitable trader, going to Dubai. So I was like, well, I know he's made it work because I've seen his story. I've seen your ups and your downs. So I was like, yeah, this guy has done it. And I saw you progressing. And then I saw you started mentioning, yeah, like you were already, like you're doing now, calling direction back then. So I saw you on Telegram every day, basically calling direction, like I think we're going there. And it was something I've not seen before as well. So put those two together, I was like, yeah, this is just, I just
Yeah.
had that trust because I knew your story.
Yeah, and by the time you joined, it wasn't even a question. It was just like, yeah, of course, I'm just gonna join.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think was the big thing that once you joined that gave you that guidance where you started thinking, okay, I am on the right path? Because you were mentioning green light, green light, green
Yeah.
light, that, okay, I'm on the right path. What was it that when you joined gave you that guidance to just keep pushing and actually got you to 3 months after getting that payout?
I think, well, a big thing was just the way that things were. I wouldn't say it's the structure, but it's the way you were teaching things. Because before it's like, okay, I have this checklist and I have to back test and I have to do this. And I was just doing those things. And when I joined you, all of a sudden I was like, oh, do this exercise to understand their direction in market. Do this and you will understand it. So instead of me just basically copying someone and just having to do what they do, you gave me something where I could apply it for myself. You kind of, like you always mentioned, gave me a framework that I could just learn and see for myself first. And I think that was very important because now I was no longer following even you, but I was following myself based on what you were saying. And that made the whole difference because then I started to gain confidence in my analysis. before that I didn't have confidence because it was always like I'm just trading blindly.
Yeah.
Because I don't have this strategy in place. Like I'm just copying like this checklist. I'm just hoping it works, and I would never understand. Oh, this time it would work. This time it wouldn't. And then when I started doing those exercises, I actually started seeing, oh, this is how the market moves. This is how it behaves, and it just became this whole, I guess, new way of looking at things.
Yeah. And I think that that's something that I've always preached on a lot, which is I don't want to just give people a checklist so I make them like blind slaves. Like, yeah, if I trade, you have to trade.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like even today I was on the live stream. I saw a trade that was a little bit more aggressive, and I said, Chloe definitely took this trade.
Yeah.
And then she came back to the live stream. Hey, Kimmel, did you see? I took that trade, and I was
Yeah.
like, Chloe, 10 minutes ago I said you would take that trade. And she was like, yo, what the fuck? Because I know that the goal is to create traders and not like just blind signal followers. I'm like, no. If Kimmel takes it, then I'm going to take it. No, I want you to have your results. I don't want you might attribute some of your success to myself. But when I look at you, I'm like, no, you did all of this yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, I provide the framework. You do it for yourself. Because else, if you would have just blindly followed the signals, you'd never really trust yourself, because you know that if for some reason on one day I can't trade and you still want to trade because the market is looking great, you can just execute because you understand for yourself. And I think that that is what is crucial in a community and traders in general. It's like, just understand why you're executing. So you joined, you got to pay out after 3 months. And I think that this is where the funny story comes in, which is at the couch, you had the goal before of becoming a full-time trader at 28.
Yes.
But you're like, I'll never be able to make it. But I do want you to tell that story.
Yeah, because basically what happened is that on that couch, I always wanted to be a full-time trader at 28 because I was like, yeah, that would just be a nice age to make it and then don't have to worry. And then on the couch was like, yeah, that's never gonna happen. Like, that's too little time. And so I was like, okay, 30 is still plenty enough to change everything that I ever need to in my life. So 30 is going to be the new goal, which kind of hurt me in a little bit. And then coincidentally, when I finally made it full time, all of a sudden it was at my old goal. All of a sudden it was at that 28 years. So that was pretty sweet how that turns out. That if you just take the right steps, have the right focus, that you actually can achieve the goals you set out in the first place. And that the only thing that is really stopping you is also that honesty towards yourself. That's what I truly believe now, very deeply. Because I think too many people are just fucking around.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you have to be. If you want to be a trader, you can be fucking around, especially in the early stage.
Yeah. And I do want to set this point clear, which is, you didn't go full time as, oh, I got a couple of payouts, I want to go full time. I actually said, before you go full time, I want you to make a full year's worth of salary from payouts until you actually go full time. And I want you to have this amount of money saved up, and I want you to have these payouts and this consistency. It wasn't like, oh, I'm 28, I'm going to go full time. It actually was, you reached all of those goals that I told you to do, and then 1 month, because you had to give 1 month notice, and then you went full time, and that coincided exactly with, I think it was 4 days apart of you becoming 28, which is absolutely amazing.
It was fantastic.
And now, what does your day look like? Like after you became full time, after you started getting consistent results?
Well, now I'm also, of course, a coach, so that's a lot of things. Like, I just wake up now, look at messages from the Discord, like try to help some people, and then just do my analysis, work on my trading a little bit, go to the gym, work a little bit on my trading again, and then just, trade the NQ session.
Yeah.
And after that, I just go outside for a walk. So it's actually, it's just pretty fucking chill right now. Like, I have so much more energy. Like, now I remember when I went full time, all of a sudden, I had way more energy to see friends. Like, my whole life felt again like, oh, I can actually now also kind of live life again around my trading. So that was, that's just amazing.
Yeah. And what does your trading look like now versus 3 years ago?
Oh, I don't even know 3 years ago. I think the biggest thing, how my trading looks now, is that it's so more chill. Like I remember, like when you're in that early stage, every day you just want to trade. Like every day you see something, and right now it's like, oh well, the market looks like shit. So why would I even bother looking at the charts right now? Like I think at the beginning you're always looking for entries because there are always entries every single day. And now once you start realizing like, oh, that's not where the money is made. The money is made to just wait for my setup to show up and then start executing. So I think that's just right now the biggest difference is that I was always trading, always looking for something, and I was like, this is what I want to see. It's either happening or it's not happening, and then just go about your day.
Yeah. So you have the freedom of time, like that is possibly the best thing. Also the simplicity, which inherently is going to give you the freedom of time. And you just don't have to stare at the charts all day,
Yeah.
which even I used to do, and you used to do. But then we think back and we're like, are we really putting serious work in now? Like now we spent the last 3 hours trading because we were in a trade and we were from the time we started trading until the time the trade was finished, we were just focused on trading. Well, yeah, a little bit of fucking around, but that's because you don't need to micromanage a position.
Yeah,
But
and even that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
You also just learn like, oh, I don't have to stare. Like I
Yeah.
remember half a year ago, I was in a call with somebody else, also from the community, and we were also trading side by side, kind of. And I was like, why are you analyzing every single minute chart, like every minute candle? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but then I get a feeling for the chart. I'm like, no, just let the position do what the position needs to be
Yeah.
doing, because otherwise you're just gonna your
Yeah.
brain is just gonna go crazy, because you're gonna find, like, that's the thing, you're gonna find problems, you're gonna find things.
Yeah.
Just this, so even that fucking around is also just a way to relieve the stress a little bit of being in a position, because that's also always stressful. Like when you're running in TP, it's not like, oh, I'm running in TP, everything is great. No, you wanna be a little bit like, just do some things that chill your mind
Yeah.
down. I think that's always very important.
Yeah. And how different are your FX sessions with your future sessions?
I think like the biggest thing is that with future sessions, you sit down a little bit before you do a detailed, and you really lock in for those 3 hours. So it's really a block of being locked in, and with FX, it's way more being patient, which is also, I would say, a different kind of skill, because you just really have to be like, okay, there's nothing to trade, and you just have to wait for the days to set up. With NQ, there's way more happening, there's way more trade, so you have to be focused in that time. And with FX, you kind of just have to let FX do its thing.
Yeah.
Like you have to wait for the higher time frames to align. You just set those H1 levels. So in some way it's more chill, but it can also play tricks on your mind, because sometimes you have to wait a little bit longer. So yeah, one is just way more chill, wait for everything to be aligned, and the other one is like very focused, pretty tiring as well. Where
Yeah. At least the beauty on the future side is that 9:30 a.m. we're there, and then if the trade happens and then 1 hour after we're out, then we go jump to the pool.
Yeah.
We don't really need to be staring at the charts anymore.
No.
So
No,
that
with
is
FX, you always have to kind of be, when the day is
Yeah.
there, you always have to be ready every
Yeah.
single hour. So your mind is always, I would say that's the biggest thing. Like on those days, you're like, no, I can't go and like, can't do this, can't do that, because you always have to be ready
Yeah.
for if that opportunity presents
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. What did your first 10K month feel like?
Unreal. Like it's one of those things where it just feels unreal. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, still, even now, if I make a lot of money, it still doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think, maybe one day I will get used to it, but I think even if I look at professional traders, so it's like, yeah, I just made this and it doesn't really make sense. Like, I think that's just the thing. It always feels unreal, because it's such a weird thing where you try so long for so hard, and then once it starts clicking, you just make that money, and you're like, oh yeah, this used to be a trade that was 200 and now it's this amount of money, but it doesn't really change, but it feels really good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. Like,
Yeah.
it feels unreal, but it's also like, just like, yeah, this is just
Yeah.
the best job ever.
Because exactly, because you have the freedom of time. You're not always staring at the charts, and you still are able to make way more than when you did when you were cleaning blood.
Yeah.
And at one point you were doing so well that I decided that I wanted to bring you on as a coach, because you were always in the Discord. You were always sharing a lot of success and on why you were getting it too. And how does it feel now to be on the other side from, well, from all of your journey where you didn't even know who I was and I didn't know who you were, into now one being here and second being a coach, a trading coach inside of the community, something you always loved, trading.
I would say that it is possibly the most unexpected part of my journey, but the best. It's like one of those things that I never thought would happen, and it was never a goal. Yet it is, quite frankly, just the best thing that could have happened. Because now that I'm even thinking about it, it's like if I would be a trader just being alone, it would have been so much different. Like sitting here with you, being able to call your friend, now being able to also help other traders who were in my position, and then seeing them succeed is like something that is invaluable. Is that a word?
It's unreal.
Unreal.
It's unreal.
It's yeah, it's just the best. Like I can't thank you enough for that
Yeah.
opportunity. I can't thank myself enough to put myself in that position to begin with. Because I remember even joining Discord and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna, because I was never the best student, but I was like, I'm gonna be the best student.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be making sure that Kimball sees me, and then
Exactly. Exactly.
the,
And that was pretty much it. Like you were always like, if there was an exercise to be done, you were doing that exercise. If there was some data to collect, you were collecting that data. Like it was always ingrained in you, and that's why you grew so valuable over time. And I think one of the things that is important that you said is that if you were just a trader, like it would be so much harder. And I think this is why community is also so incredibly important, because
yes,
the thing is, when you get a payout and you tell your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, hey, I just received $5,000 from Top Step. They don't know what that is.
no,
So this is why the community is great, because one, if you lose, you are around people that understand what it means to lose in trading, and that it is normal. When you win, it's the same thing. When you get a payout, it's the same thing. When you blow an account, it's the same thing. It's being around people that understand exactly where you're at.
yeah, because
And
nobody understands trading.
exactly,
That
no
is
one understands trading.
nobody. Like you can be now, and then my girlfriend comes and you're like, yes, she cheers you up, but she doesn't understand the
no.
feeling. And you talk to a trader and you say two words, and you're like, I understand you
Yeah.
completely, and like that's so important. And I would also say that what I started to realize is, well, what do professional traders do? Like I think the whole notion of trading alone is kind of weird, because even when I think about, okay, you want to become a professional traders are at a trading
At a
desk.
pit, yeah.
They're all together.
Yeah.
It's not that like they're like there's not that many people who are actually trading alone. No, they're big trading desks. They have all the support everywhere. They have a psychologist they can talk to. They have colleagues. They get work groups together so they can talk to. They have a community, and then so they are never alone.
Yeah.
And I think nobody really like I was always wanted to be trader because I like to have my privacy. I like to be spending time alone. But at the end of the day, nobody really would like that. And I think that's why even having a community, like I remember every day in that Discord, we were just in the voice chat talking to people about trading.
Yeah. And it's something that I've always been in love with, and you've always been in love with trading. Like I have stories of when I was 15 or 16 going to the bank with 200 euros saying that I want to invest in the stock market. Like because I've always been looking into like stocks and index funds and everything. I think ES was at $3,000 at the time. Guy should have let me.
Yeah, you should have let you in.
I would have now probably been break even with all the commissions. So I've always had this like thing for the financial markets. It's the exact same thing. You always loved the financial markets, and now just being surrounded with people that also love trading or want to get a good outcome through trading, it's just extremely rewarding. And to be fair, like that is why I do it too. It's like it's amazing to be around people that understand me, because at the end of the day, I could also just be alone.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, this is why I do it, and this is why this fills my heart every single day. Talking with traders, I always tell them on the live streams, on the Discords, where people can ask me questions all the time. I'm always like, don't worry about asking questions. I want to know everyone's questions because one, I can improve the course if needed. I can improve the mentorship. I can add an SOP. I can add anything that will make you more likely to become successful because
Yeah.
that's the goal at the end of the day. And with you too, which now as a coach, you see yourself probably in a lot of traders where you're like, I know what you
Sure.
can do to get to that next step.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
think that's really what we do it for. It's like, we're here now. We reached some sort of success. We keep going. We don't get complacent either way. And now it's just about lifting everyone up.
For sure. And I also remember like being in a like sometimes like even the first time I messaged you, I was literally shaking. I was scared. I didn't want to message you. I was literally scared. Even if I had to ask you questions, I was scared. Even if I had to join voice chats, I was scared. But I was like, I want to do this. And yeah, you also need to put that fear aside. But I think like I always misplaced that fear as a, oh, I'm scared to talk to him. I'm scared to ask questions. No, that was not it. It's that it was that important to me that I reacted that way.
Yeah.
Because I was scared you're going to say, oh, no, I actually don't have room in the mentorship. Oh, it's more of that. It's so important that's why I think like, also don't be scared to out there to go ask those questions, because at the end of the day, the reason you are scared is because it's also so important to you.
Yeah. I remember I have a story with Guillermo. He's behind the camera. And I remember I paid a good chunk of cash for a course, and I told him that I was going onto a live stream, and I was going to ask like 4 questions.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I should ask this next question. And Guillermo was like, bro, you paid to be here. Ask all the questions. And this is something that once he said it, I was like, this is how I want everyone to think. Because again, maybe the question that you have is the questions that someone else is too afraid of asking.
Yeah.
So you're helping not only yourself, but also other people. But yeah, this is a great conversation. I'm very happy with that. Is there any last things you would like to say?
The last thing I would like to say, just put in the work, why you're doing it for. I think that's just the important thing. Like, know why you want to be a trader, know why you are doing this, what are you doing this for, and then just start putting in that work. Think about that green, orange, red light. Think about, am I now at the green light? Am I actually at that orange light? Am I at that red light? And be realistic with yourself. I think that's one thing that I don't see everybody doing, because they're always like, no, I'm just gonna be a trader, and just keep hitting their head. And I think that's one of the reasons, because you need to be honest to yourself about where you want to go and why you want to go there. And once you start noticing that, and then you put in that work, that's where everything starts aligning.
Love that. Sander, thank you so much. If you've watched this far, hope you were able to take some value from the story of Sander. If he got to where he is right now, so can you. Think about your why. Think about why you're doing this, and let's get to it.